Greetings, Julia. This video comes to you from a highway in Virginia at sunset, traveling on the long road south to Virginia. And also, this video comes to you from the forests of Cambia at dawn, where I'm sitting and recording this narration. So the reason I'm recording this video at dawn is that I couldn't sleep. I woke up early in the morning before it was light out. I was worried. I realized that I had to say something, and that's often the form that my worries take, is I need to say something. That's what I'm worried about, maybe. I'm worried about my ability to say something, and so here is this little box where I can say something to you. So in the past, when I've done videos with narration over a moving vehicle, I have stopped the video where the vehicle stops because it gives a sense of completion. But I don't have footage of this video stopping, and I think that that's somewhat appropriate because this video is not going to have a conclusive end because it's an open-ended request with a lot of unknowns. I want this video to end with a feeling of expansiveness, of an understanding of what the enormity of time really is, and that's not conclusive. About 2 years ago, I had this dream that I was in prison. I was in the cell with this truth-telling machine. It was an alethiometer. If you've ever read his Dark Materials, Lyra has this symbol machine that tells the truth. And I dreamt that I was in a prison cell with an alethiometer, and I was talking to the prison guard at the other side of the bars. He was this huge, tall, bulbous, ugly man in a big black coat and these bulging lips. He was telling me that I had to confess. I was in this cell and I had this truth-telling machine, and what I was supposed to do with it was to confess, to tell the truth. And I didn't want to confess, because if I confessed, that would mean acquiescing to being a prisoner. That would mean accepting this feeling of trappedness that the dream was giving me. And the guard said, "It's useless, you're trapped, you should just confess. If you do, perhaps you'll get some good writing done. Perhaps you'll get some good writing done." At the time, I interpreted the dream about my impending decision to go to graduate school. Graduate school was a host of commitments. It felt like I was being squeezed into a box. I was being forced to be a certain kind of person, and I didn't know if I wanted to be that kind of person. And so graduate school represented a feeling of being trapped, and I accepted that feeling of being trapped because of this hint that the prison guard gave me that perhaps if you accept this feeling of being trapped, you will get some good writing done. You will get some good writing done. And so that was a dream about grad school, but I feel like it's a very appropriate for me today as I contemplate a new big transition in my life, this transition of moving to this intentional community called Cambia. I'm frightened by that decision. I'm frightened of the prospects of moving down here because in many ways it will make me feel trapped. Living in an income-sharing intentional community it's quite a commitment. You know, it's sort of like taking a vow of poverty. You're tying your futures so intensely to this group of people. You're giving up a whole lot. And you get a lot in return. You get security and community, all of these things, but it's definitely a trade. You're putting on shackles, and even though it's a decision that I want to make, and I think is the right decision for me at this time, it's a daunting one. But the thing is that I want to say something. I really, really have something to say, and I'm not sure what that thing is, but it presses at me so intensely. It wakes me up at 4 in the morning and compels me to record videos to you. There's something I want to say so intensely, and it's going to take a long time for it to come out, and it's going to take a lot of work, and I think that the best place to do that work is here. Is at Cambia. I don't know of any place that would be better suited for that task, which feels ahead of me, this task of saying something, whatever that means. And really that's what this feeling of trapped is. The biggest feeling of trapped is not graduate school or Cambia, it's this feeling of being trapped by this urge to say. I feel so trapped by this need to express this thing that I don't even know what it is or what it looks like. I have some hints, but I don't really know what it is. I feel so trapped by that it compels me to do all these things. So that's a funny thing, feeling trapped by your own creativity. Causes you to make a lot of sacrifices. And that's okay. Like, it's scary as hell, but it's okay. That's the point that I'm at right now, and I wanted to express that sentiment to you because I think you may feel similarly. I think you do. I feel trapped into saying something, which is a very negative way of saying I feel compelled to speak and make videos, to express. I feel like I have a message that if I don't express it, it will die with me. That's a strange thing to say at the age of 26. That's incredibly prideful. It's so arrogant, but I can't not feel like that. I feel like I have a message inside me that is urgently trying to come out, and it's gonna take years, and it's gonna take commitment, and I'm committed to doing it. I'm committed to doing it when it feels like no one is listening. I'm committed to doing it when it takes so much sacrifice, when all the feedback is negative, and even if it doesn't pay, I'm committed to doing it even if it doesn't pay, because I have to. But the thing is that I think it can pay. I'm not sure exactly how, but like, I think these videos that we're making are monetizable. I think that going on a lecture circuit is monetizable, and I think that hosting conferences is monetizable, and I think that teaching classes is monetizable, and there are all of these ways to monetize a message, and figuring out those ways, very challenging, perhaps impossible, but I'm committed to figuring them out because I think it can pay off. It might take 5 years, or 10 years, 50 years, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I think it can pay off. One of the things I want to say in this video, and now Julia, I am no longer really addressing this to you, I'm addressing it to Cambia. Cambia, I am confident that if I put enough effort into crafting this message, into making online videos, into putting together conferences, into doing all of this expressing, I'm confident that if I put that work into it, that it will pay off, and that it'll pay off in a really big way. So I'm asking of you to put your confidence in me that this is true, because I need things from you in order to make it work. I need a safe place to sleep, and I need food in my stomach, supportive, loving community, and then there's this practical thing, which is I need internet. That's a big thing that worries me, is the poor internet here. Look, you see this video? It's high definition, Maximus in a box. If any of this is gonna work, internet is required. And I don't know exactly what it's gonna take to get super high speed internet here, but it's really, really essential. That's a thing that I need if I'm going to feel really confident about moving down here. I need internet. The other thing I need is permission to do this work of expressing, of web development and social media and video creation and all of this idea stuff that doesn't generate any money, at least not for a while. I need your permission to do that, or not just your permission, I need your support, your enthusiastic support. You know, something like the ability to unabashedly spend half of the time that I'm working for Cambia working on these messages, working on these expressions. I really need to be focused and 100% into expressing these things. It's really important. So I'm asking for a lot, right? That's a lot to ask of a community. Infrastructure investments and internet and permission to spend my time on something that is not going to pay off for a significant period of time, at least a couple years, if not more. But I'm confident that it can after that. And now I do want to address Julia again. Going back and forth, different video audiences, very strange medium this is. I want to address Julia again because this video is not just a commitment to myself to say the things that need to be said. And it's not just a commitment to Cambia to making this community better by saying those things. It's also a commitment to you about this channel. Right now, these videos get about 50 views per video. I think if we could multiply that by 1,000, get 50,000 views per video, then we would have something real. We would have something that could support us in our other creative adventures. So 1,000 seems daunting, but like, it's not impossible. I think that if we worked really hard and tried to make these videos really tight. Not long rambling things like this monstrosity of a video. What am I at? 10 minutes? I don't know. If we made our videos really tight and really compelling, really professional, I think that in 3 years we could definitely be having 50,000 views per video. So that's a formal goal. Julia likes goals written down. You have me recorded. By October 28th, 2019, I want to see us having 50,000 views per video on this channel. That's an audacious goal. I have many audacious goals. I feel insane, and I feel so much self-doubt at my ability to do this. So much self-doubt, but it has to happen. I don't really see any other path besides through this little box. So that's a 3-year goal. So I said at the beginning of this video that I wanted to end it with a feeling of spaciousness and open-ended sensation of time. Because a 3-year goal is, you know, it's a 3-year goal. People live for not just 3 years or 30 years or 100 years. So there's this story about my grandfather that I like to tell. My grandfather, he measured the weather every day. He put up these implements, measured temperature and precipitation every morning, recorded it. And I think there's something about that kind of dedication to a practice of doing the same thing every day, really working on something. He's written books about climate change and such. Having that understanding of time, watching climate change. And so this video is it's a commitment video. I'm committing myself to many things and asking for many things. But the biggest thing that I'm committing to is an understanding of just broad stretch of time that being alive entails. And that progress is slow, and that some things require slow and steady input for 50 years before they give birth. I think that that's really amazing and really beautiful, is an understanding that is worth spending a lifetime cultivating. The very last section of this video, I want to dedicate to Rachel, keeping me up at night worried. So I'm worried about coming down here, largely because it means being apart from you for a long time. That's the thing that really is keeping me up at night, giving me all these things to say. The way I resolve that worry is by thinking about time and imagining what my life will be like in 50 years. And I know you're going to be in it, and so I'm less terrified of the intermediate places in between. Time is very long, and one day we're going to be very old. So that's quite a ramble. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Cambia. Thank you, Rachel, for listening to me. Thank you, anyone else who decides to watch through this snapshot of Maximus in a box for the future. 3 years from now, 50 years from now, see if any of my broad ambitions can come true. Time capsule video form. I love you very, very much.